Patrick, what was the clubhouse like last night as people were starting to understand that Tulo was on his way out? And have you talked to Tulo at all? Have you been able to get in touch with him?
You know what, guys? I have talked with Tulo briefly. That's all I can say at this point. I'm working on some stuff with him. That's all I want to say at this point. The clubhouse last night, bizarre. At first, we didn't know for sure what was going out, coming down. Then we thought, well, is he hurt? And then you could see people going in and out of Walt's office where Tulo was, and we knew it was more than some injury or anything. It was very intense. And then when we saw that things really get intense, I went over a couple people, the Rockies, Nolan Arenado, and Cargo, and of course they said, yeah, it's a done deal, and that's when I knew the Cargo was gone. But it was a very tense and very somber place. I think I staked out that clubhouse until probably at least 1:30 in the morning until we finally discovered where the back door was at Wrigley and realized that Tulo had slipped out through the back door. There's a lot of cloak and dagger. If you guys have been to Wrigley, you know all the tunnels and weird configurations there. So it was quite the experience, I must say.
Pat, let's go back to that moment, continue on what you were just saying, that in the ninth inning when he came out, and it's still a game, and there was no indication he'd been injured, the first thought I had is they have made a trade, and they don't want him to get hurt in case this game goes into extra innings. And I was a bit surprised that that point wasn't raised on television. I was not listening on radio. But it would have seemed to me that once it was figured out, if you watch some replays, he wasn't hurt going down to first base, that this deal had to be made. You said earlier that you thought that you were somewhat surprised it was Toronto. Why do you think it was Toronto? That they were willing, because they're within 3 games of a wild card, they actually gave up a lot of stuff to get Tulo, even though Arenado may not believe that they got a starter, but they gave up some real good prospects, and they gave up a major league reliever. They gave up a shortstop who has been an all-star in the past.
4 times, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think, guys, and Bradish alluded to this didn't allude to it. He said it in his presser that, they laid the groundwork for this, at least preliminary, in the winter meetings. It lay dormant for a while while all of us were chasing the Mets and the Yankees. This was something that was bubbling underneath the surface. I think the Toronto Blue Jays GM is one of the young Mustangs, if you will, a guy willing to do some things to win now and willing to roll the dice a little bit. And I think that's part of the reason this went down the way it did. I've heard through the grapevine that the Bradish tends to turn off some of the long-time GMs around the league, but some of the younger guys he connects with, and I think that had something to do with it.